Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, and wow, it's really happening. Disney Plus is officially no more. Now, as many of you know, their streaming service, Disney Plus, has been a disaster. It's lost billions. I think upwards of about $4 billion because they can't come up with good programming. They're too woke. Well, now CEO Bob Iger is telling Disney viewers to, quote, prepare. They're being forced to combine their streaming service with Hulu, a streaming service co-owned by Disney and Comcast. They're planning on launching a beta-tested combined app with Hulu, with both apps permanently replaced in March of 2024. Parents are being told to prepare because there are going to be a lot of movies and viewing options that are not particularly consistent with Disney Plus, and that's, of course, because Disney Plus is imploding. Now, what's happening here is just par for the course with Disney. As many of you know, Disney just experienced another mega fail with the Mrs. Marvel movies. The new Marvel Universe movie called The Marvels is being depicted as obviously rather woke, very feminist, and that the two main characters are both women. It had the worst opening day of any movie in the Marvels franchise history. It opened with $47 million this past weekend, which is peanuts compared to what it cost to make, which was $250 million. And next to nothing as compared to other Marvel opening weekends. Now, just to put this all in perspective, this is the sequel to Captain Marvel. That opened a few years back with $150 million. So this movie's also already lost $100 million. One company is calling it an unprecedented Marvel box office collapse. And it performed even worse than their previous failure, which was Ant-Man back in 2015, which grossed just $50 million in its opening weekend. And again, unfortunately for Disney, Disney lost $900 million in their previous 8 releases. They've lost almost $1 billion in their last 8 films prior to this. And the losses have been so bad, they've actually had to shelve one of their latest projects. We've been talking about this. You heard about this absurdly woke Snow White that they were planning on releasing. The British Daily Mail published photos from the set of a live-action remake of the classic Snow White. Not only is Snow White Latina, but perhaps most shockingly, instead of the traditional 7 dwarves, the film went totally woke with what they called magical creatures in order to avoid reinforcing stereotypes like dwarves. And so the Daily Mail published photographs of the companions accompanying Snow White in the film, and they're all your quintessential diversity hires. We're talking gender, ethnicity, height. Ironically, there was only one dwarf among them. And of course, these photos went viral, and the sheer mockery, the online ridicule these photos got was so bad that Disney officials originally came out and denied them. They claimed the photos were fake. But after they were confronted by further investigation, Disney officials had to admit, with egg on their face, that the photos were indeed real. And the best they could come up with to try to cover up their lie was, well, they weren't official photos. That's what we meant. And so needless to say, the backlash was so bad that Disney has basically shelved the film. They're going back to the drawing board, and they're completely redoing this movie. So what's going on with Disney? Well, we're going to find out precisely that. But first, gang, you've seen how much UFC fighters love the one and only Donald Trump. But have you ever wondered what they do to manage their pain? Well, you don't have to, because a fellow patriot and good friend of this channel is precisely the one who provides relief to that pain, and he's here to do the same for you. Now, we all know that as we age, aches and pains are normal. But you know what? They don't have to be. And that's where the groundbreaking medical scientist Clint Winters comes in. Now, you've seen Clint on Fox News. You've seen him on this channel a number of times. He's a world-renowned health expert who's unveiled a natural pain reliever that's taking the world by storm. It's called ConoCB2. It's the 100% drug-free way to get full-body pain relief without dangerous meds. And it is the official pain reliever for the fighters in the UFC. And the best part is ConoCB2 has no documented side effects after years of private testing. It's absolutely the future of pain relief. So whatever you do, make sure to click on that link below and check out Clint's amazingly informative report on how ConoCB2 is changing lives by providing safe and powerful relief at a fraction of the cost of pain pills. Click on that link below right now. When all is said and done, more and more cultural pundits are recognizing that it's pretty clear, surprise, surprise, that audiences are done with wokeness. And that's literal, especially when we get into international audiences. For example, the recent Disney's Lightyear, that was banned from theaters across the Middle East for featuring a lesbian kiss. But here in the United States, I think we're seeing a kind of soft banning, as it were, a massive boycott of all things woke. In other words, Disney is suffering from what we might call a Bud Light syndrome. Consumer sentiments have reached a threshold where they're simply increasingly refusing to buy from a corporation that appears so hell-bent on offending their values. And again, it's not hard to see why this is such a commercial disaster. Again, we've talked numerous times in other videos about how wokeness actually splits the political left, all the while it unites the political right. Woke issues and woke advocacy is hardly supported by a majority of the population. Even on the left, woke issues basically cut down the middle. So if you bring up any woke issue, half of the political left will be all for it, but the other half will be against it, like we see with Bill Maher, Piers Morgan. The irony is that wokeness also only ends up uniting the right. So the right becomes unanimously opposed to it. So what Disney is learning the hard way is that when they push wokeness, more people are likely to boycott it, actively oppose it, than support it. So I don't know how much more money Hollywood has to lose to learn the lesson the hard way. Audiences don't want to pay to be virtue signaled. They don't want to pay to be lectured by a bunch of self-righteous cultural Marxist narcissists. Even many on the political left feel that way. They don't want it. And until Disney learns their lesson, they're going to continue to financially implode. Are you ready to join the resistance? Because I'm leading a group of dedicated, courageous patriots who can lead a spearhead into the heart of the secular globalist establishment. We punished Bud Light and Target, driven CNN and the legacy media to near bankruptcy, forced BlackRock to backtrack on ESG, and now we're seeing our conservative-dominated Supreme Court ending affirmative action and protecting religious liberty. In my Insiders Club, I show you concrete steps to take locally and online that will only keep this mass uprising going until the battle is won. Don't wait. Click the link in my description below and join my Courageous Patriots Insiders Club today.